Do you think that it is possible to have thought the possibility that resentment could be your most powerful ally in your quest for success? In our lives, we frequently seek to avoid rejection at all cost. What would you think if I said that rejection can be the key to unlocking your potential and reaching your objectives? Imagine you're at an interview for a job. You're sweating profusely, your palms sweaty trying to impress. The interviewer suddenly says the most dreadful phrases. "I'm sorry, but we've decided to go with another candidate." At that moment, you feel a swell of frustration and disappointment that swells over you. What if instead of viewing this defeat as a setback, instead you took it as an opportunity to grow? In the past, many people were rejected when they were on the path to success. Beginning with Thomas Edison, who was said to be too stupid to learn anything, to J.K. Rowling, whose Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by a number of publishers. Rejection is a regular occurrence throughout the life of a few people who are among the best individuals around the globe. Why is it that certain people let rejection stifle their spirits, whereas others rely on it to push themselves ahead? The reason lies in how we view and react to rejection. We'll examine the potential of reverse psychology and discover how to turn the rejection into our most valuable benefit. So get ready for the ride, because at the time we're done, you'll have the skills and mindset required to turn rejection into your advantage and attain unbeatable success. Keep an eye out for 13 valuable lessons on how to master reverse psychology and transform the rejection into victory. Let's get started. Lesson 1. The idea of vulnerability is usually viewed as vulnerability, something that should avoid at all cost. However, in reality, vulnerability is the foundation of creativity, innovation, and authenticity. It's the courage to take a risk and expose yourself for the risk of being rejected while pursuing your goals. When you are open to vulnerability and open yourself to the world of possibilities, as opposed to hiding behind a mask that is perfect, let you to be exposed as you are, with flaws in everything. Being authentic not only draws genuine connections and offers, but can also build the ability to endure rejection. Imagine approaching an investor with your business idea and knowing that they could decide to turn down your idea. Instead of letting your fear keep you back, you accept the risk and share your ideas with conviction and passion. Even if an investor decides to not invest, you leave with the knowledge that you were committed to your idea. Being vulnerable also means accepting the failure. It is about understanding that failure is not a sign of your worth, but instead an inevitable element of the process to success. Accepting vulnerability and the possibility of being rejected, it frees you free of the anxiety about failing and can be open to the infinite possibilities in the future. The next time you face rejection, keep in mind that vulnerability is not a flaw, but rather a power. Lean into it, accept it, the vulnerability, and see how it changes your path to success. After we've examined how vulnerability can be a powerful tool, we'll dive into the lessons of how to use rejection in your favor. Lesson 2. The way we view things is crucial. What we see and how we perceive the events of our lives determines our perception of reality and determines the extent to which we succeed. When you're faced with rejection, the perspective of our perception can make all the difference. Instead of seeing the rejection as a personal loss, try redefining it as an opportunity for learning. Consider, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow and improve? If you change your mindset, you can transform the most difficult rejections into lessons that will propel you towards success. Consider the case of a writer who gets a rejection letter from an editor. Instead of crying in denial, they decide to see it as a chance to improve their craft and improve their writing. They seek out feedback by other authors, improve their writing, and then achieve satisfaction with a different editor. Through shifting their perception and seeing rejection as a stepping up instead of an obstacle, they are capable of turning failures into success. If you ever encounter rejection, be aware of the power of the perspective. Make it your goal to view it as not the end of the road, but instead as an opportunity to begin a fresh chapter on your road to success. As we continue to explore the concept in reverse psychology as well as ways to utilize rejection in your advantage, make sure that you should keep a positive outlook and positive outlook. The lessons to come are bound to test you. However, with the correct mindset, you can make rejection your best partner in reaching your goals. Lesson 3. Resilience is the capacity to bounce back after adversity and persevere when faced with difficulties, and to become stronger than you were prior to. In the face of rejection, resilience is the best advantage. Consider resilient as a muscle that gets stronger with every rejection you experience. Every failure you experience gives you the chance to develop resilience, learn from your mistakes, and to grow resilient to new challenges in the future. Consider the case of an athlete facing loss in a contest. Instead of losing hope in their dreams, they utilize the loss as a reason to push themselves more intensely, to improve their skills, and return stronger at the next contest. By perseverance and determination, they succeed and prove that perseverance is the key to success. How can you build your resilience even in the face of rejection? It begins by developing an attitude of growth. Instead of seeing failure as an indicator of your ability, take it as an opportunity to grow and develop. By adopting this approach, you are able to overcome setbacks with renewed determination and vigor. Also, be sure to surround yourself with an entourage that includes family members, friends, and mentors who can provide support and encouragement during tough moments. Use these connections to help and strength, as well as the fact that you're not alone on this journey. By enhancing your resilience and adopting a growing mentality, you will be able to overcome every obstacles that come your way and become stronger than before. When you confront rejection, keep in mind that resilience is your best friend. Take the opportunity to learn from your mistakes and observe as you gain strength with every failure. Lesson 4. Adversity can bring hidden opportunities that are waiting to be discovered by those who are willing to look for them. If you're faced by rejection, it's easy to feel depressed and defeated. Instead of thinking about what you didn't like, why don't you search for the bright side? Think about the story of a young entrepreneur whose business plan was turned down by investors. Instead of abandoning their dream, they look at the rejection as a chance to improve their ideas and discover different avenues to fund their business. Through persistence and ingenuity, they uncover other sources of funding, including crowdfunding platforms, angel investors, and then bring their dream to fruition. In redefining rejection as a chance for discovery and innovation, they transform backs into steps towards success. So, the next time you're faced with rejection, don't get discouraged. Instead, take the opportunity to embrace it and search for the possibilities to find the hidden opportunities. Lesson 5. The fear of failing is a major barrier that keeps many away from pursuing their goals. What if I told you that failure isn't the end of the line, it's just a step up the road to success? Think about the story of an artist in training who hopes to exhibit their work in galleries. In spite of their talents and enthusiasm, however, they're plagued with doubts and fears of being rejected. Instead of letting fear keep their backs, they decide to face the fear face to face. They send the work they create to gallery, being aware that rejection is inevitable. If the inevitable rejection letters come in and they are unable to ignore them, the artists use these letters as an incentive to work on their skills and push forward. After a while, their persistence results in success, and they get their first gallery show and prove that failure fears are insignificant when you have determination and perseverance. In facing their fears and accepting the possibility of failure by embracing their fears, they can conquer the biggest obstacle in their path and reach their goals. If you are hesitant because fear of failing, be aware that rejection isn't an end in itself and is merely a stop in the road to success. Lesson 6. In the midst of rejection, it's easy to get difficult on yourself. Be critical of your weaknesses and dwell on your failures. What if instead criticizing yourself, you displayed the same compassion and kindness that you would extend to someone in need? Self-compassion refers to the act to treat yourself and others with respect and forgiveness, particularly in difficult situations. When you encounter rejection, instead of being angry at yourself over perceived mistakes, consider giving yourself positive words of encouragement. Imagine a scenario in which you weren't able to get the job that you submitted your application for. Instead of telling yourself you're not enough and that it's unlikely you'll be successful, consider telling yourself, I did my best, and I'm proud of myself for putting myself out there. Rejection is a natural part of life, and it doesn't define my worth or abilities. If you cultivate self-compassion, you will be able to build resilience when faced with rejection and increase your sense of self-worth. When you encounter rejection, try to be gentle with yourself and give yourself the same kindness you would give to your friend. Lesson 7. The idea of rejection is usually viewed as a negative result, as an indication that you're not adequate or that your efforts went in vain. But what if, instead seeing rejection as a sign of success, you viewed it as an opportunity to gain valuable feedback that could assist you in gaining experience and improving? Think about the scenario of a musician who has an audition for an orchestra with a high profile but isn't selected. Instead of being disappointed, they seek feedback from the panel to find out the areas they could improve. With this information and knowledge, they begin training hard and improving their talents. If they decide to return for the next tryout, they get rave reviews from the panel, and they are offered an opportunity to join the orchestra. In redefining that rejection as constructive feedback, they were able to transform the setbacks into opportunities to grow and development. If you encounter rejection, do not view it as a loss, rather, as an opportunity to improve and grow. Get feedback, think about what you learned, then use them to push yourself further towards success. Lesson 8. Confidence is often seen as something you either possess or don't have. However, in reality, confidence is a capability which can be developed through practice and action. What better way to increase confidence than to face the rejection head-on? Imagine a situation where you have the confidence to invite someone out on an evening, only to be rejected. Instead of letting rejection stifle your confidence, you can use the situation to increase your self-confidence and build up your resilience. Consider the fact that you were brave enough to be yourself regardless of anxiety of being rejected. Accept that rejection isn't an indicator of the value you have as a person, it's just a normal element of dating. Most importantly, keep in mind that every rejection is an inch closer to meeting an individual who values your uniqueness. If you are willing to take action and confront the rejections with a sense of grace and determination as you progress, you will gain confidence in yourself and your talents. If you are hesitant to risk something due to fear of rejection, keep in mind that confidence isn't about not experiencing rejection at all, but rather being able to confront the challenge head-on and continue going ahead. Lesson 9. One of the greatest anxiety that is associated with rejection is fear of being in the dark. The uncertainty of what's next can be overwhelming, which prevents you from attempting new things and following your goals. What if, instead of being afraid of the future, you accepted the unknown as an opportunity to expansion and discovery? Think of the scenario for an ambitious entrepreneur that launches an innovative business idea with full awareness of the risk of failing. Instead of letting fear of failure stop them from taking the plunge, the business venture is embraced as a challenge, eager to see where this journey takes them. They know that failure and rejection are part of the business journey. However, they also recognize that every setback will bring them closer to their goal. In embracing the unknown and exploring unknown territory opens them up to infinite possibilities for growth. If you are hesitant to make the leap of faith due to fear of the unknown, keep in mind that uncertainty isn't something to be avoided, rather, it is something to be welcomed. Be open to the adventure, enjoy your journey, and observe as the unimaginable unfolds before you, offering endless possibilities for growth and achievement. Lesson 10. Persistence is the most important ingredient to success, even in the face of rejection. It's the will to persevere even when odds are against you which distinguishes successful people from others. Take a look at the story about Thomas Edison, who famously declared, "I have not failed. I've found 10,000 possibilities which don't work." Although he faced a myriad of defeats and setbacks in his search for the bulb that lights up, Edison never gave up. He continued to explore and discover from his mistakes and to persist until he finally succeeded. In the same way, if you are faced with rejection in your life, be aware of the power of perseverance. Do not let the rejection discourage you from working towards your goals. Let it bolster your drive to achieve. Consider every failure for an occasion to grow, then keep moving forward with a constant determination. When you tap into the power of perseverance, you will be able to overcome every obstacle in the way of your goals. So, the next time you encounter rejection, don't let it deter you. Let it be a motivation to continue striving and to believe in yourself and the abilities you have. Lesson 11. Vulnerability is usually viewed as weakness that must avoid at all costs. In reality, however, vulnerability is an indicator that is incredibly strong and testimony to our strength and integrity. Think of how a person writes and is willing to share what they write with others, conscious of the possibility of criticism and rejection. Instead of staying behind a mask of excellence, they accept their vulnerability and accept to be exposed as flawed, with flaws and all. They communicate to readers on a deeper level, establishing real connections that are based on authenticity and honesty. Even when they are rejected, they remain steadfast and confident that their vulnerability isn't an issue, but rather an opportunity for growth. The next time you hesitate to share your vulnerability for fear of rejection, keep in mind that vulnerability isn't an insecurity, but rather it is a source of strength. Be authentic, speak your authentic self, and observe how you build authentic connections and build courage in the face of the challenges. Lesson 12. Resilience is the capacity to overcome challenges and adapt to change and to flourish even in the face of adversity. In terms of dealing with the rejection of others, resilience is an essential quality to be developed. Consider the tale of a job applicant who has to deal with rejection after rejection during their job search. Instead of letting every failure defeat them, they are resilient, bounce back stronger, and more resilient after every defeat. Each rejection is an opportunity to gain knowledge as well as grow. They use each rejection to enhance their resume, and improve their interviewing abilities. In the end, their determination is rewarded when they get that dream job and prove that determination and perseverance can overcome the most difficult difficulties. When you are faced with rejection, try to develop the ability to bounce back. Do not let failures impede your progress. Instead, let them fuel your drive to achieve. With perseverance as your partner, you will be able to weather any storm and emerge stronger from another side. Lesson 13. In the quest for success, it's easy to get focused on the target and to see failure as a hindrance in the way to success. What if, instead of being focused on the goal, you were able to enjoy the journey and to appreciate the lessons and experiences throughout the journey? Think about the scenario of a marathoner who set out to complete the first marathon of their life. Instead of focusing on winning, they are focused on having fun and pushing themselves to the limit and celebrating every mile marker on the journey. Even if they don't get to that finish line in the first place, they consider it a win by knowing that they put their all into it and gained important lessons throughout the process. Through embracing the journey, they feel fulfilled and happy when they achieve their goals, no matter the result. When we are done with our study in reverse psychology as well as ways you can use rejection in your advantage, make sure to cultivate resilience and enjoy the process. With these principles in mind, you will be able to turn the rejection into your biggest chance to grow satisfaction, resilience, and success. If you've liked this video, make sure to take the time to share it, like it, and follow our channel to receive more information on personal development and successful strategies. If you have any suggestions or questions that you'd like to see us cover for future video content, feel free to post your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for your time, and remember, regardless of how many times you've had to face rejection, you've got the ability to transform backslides into steps towards your goals. Continue to push forward, never stop believing on yourself, and don't quit on your journey towards becoming the most perfect version of yourself. For the next time, be strong, remain committed, and see every challenge as a chance to grow. We can defeat the odds and reach our highest dreams.